I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:02 p.m. Clerk, please call the roll.
Thank you. Councilmember Kaplan. Here. Councilmember Dickinson. Councilmember Pleckbaum. Councilmember Maple is expected momentarily. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Here.
Councilmember Jennings.
Here.
Councilmember Vang.
Here.
We expect Mayor McCarty momentarily and Vice Mayor Talamantes.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there, oh, never mind. Land acknowledgement, Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Thank you all. Please rise for the opening acknowledgement in honor of our Sacramento's indigenous people and tribal lands. To the original people of this land, the Nisenan people, the Southern Maidu, the Valley and Plains Miwok, the Patwin and Wintun people, and the people of the Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federally recognized tribe. May we acknowledge and honor the Native people who came before us and still walk beside us today on these ancestral lands by choosing to gather together today in the active practice of acknowledgement and appreciation for Sacramento's indigenous peoples, history, contribution, and lives. Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay, City Attorney, is there any report out from closed session? Okay, thank you so much. And for the first presentation today, we have Councilmember Jennings and Councilmember Vang. All you, Coach.
I got you. On here. Okay. Welcome, everyone. It is an honor to be joined with Councilmember Vang in recognizing Sacramento's Wing Chun and Bak Mei Kung Fu Academy for 41 years of service and teaching excellence in our community. That deserves a round of applause. So where is the District 7 connection? They are located in District 7, and this academy has become a far more than just a martial arts school. For 4 decades, it's been a trusted community institution, a place where young people can go and learn discipline, confidence, respect, and perseverance. Our young people are out there? Raise your hand in the air, let me see you. What's the impact of this organization? As we continue to look for ways to support our youth, spaces like this matter. They provide positive mentorships, healthy outlets, and opportunities for personal and professional growth. The lessons learned within these walls extend far beyond martial arts. And some you won't see the lessons for many years, but some you'll see immediately. They help shape character. They prepare young people to become leaders in their schools, their neighborhoods, their homes, and their communities. I also want to recognize the Academy's commitment to creating a culture that rejects bullying and promotes respect for everyone. Under the leadership of Sifu Jerry Fong and Sifu Jean-Pierre Jean-Pierre, I'm gonna stop there. Students are taught that martial arts are for self-defense, personal growth, and helping one another, not for intimidation or for harm. Equally important is the Academy's commitment to inclusion. Through its partnerships with the Alta California Regional Center, children and adults with special needs have access to programs that build confidence, connection, and community. In closing, for 41 years, Sacramento Wing Chun and Bak Mei Kung Fu Academy have positively impacted generations of Sacramento students, and it doesn't stop here. Those same students that have been impacted will go forth and impact future students for generations to come. They've impacted the families, the students, the residents, and tonight we are proud to recognize that legacy. And at this time, to provide some additional remarks is none other than my sister from another mother, Mai Vang, and please give her a round of applause.
Thanks, Coach. I am incredibly honored to be co-presenting this with Councilmember Jennings. A little jealous that it's in District 7. But the Sacramento Wing Chun Academy, as you heard from Councilmember Jennings, have been in the community since 1985, the year I was born. And they've been teaching and preserving traditional Chinese martial arts for that long. But in particular, this is a traditional martial art that was created by a nun to protect herself and others. Wing Chun is actually one of the most effective forms of unarmed martial arts, and it was actually created by a Buddhist nun named Ning Moy, who taught a young woman named Yem Wing Chun, how to actually protect herself because she was being forced into a marriage by a local bully. And so if you all see the Donnie Yen movie, Ip Man, right? That's when it became really famous, Wing Chun. But it was also learned by Bruce Lee as well. And I remember as a little girl growing up in Sacramento, my father was actually a student at that academy, and he actually learned under Grandmaster Eddie Chong, and he also trained with council member from Elk Grove, Darren Swin, who's also a student there as well. And I remember as a little girl watching my father train under Wing Chun, and I didn't train there, I just watched, but then when we went home at the garage, my father taught me Wing Chun, so I learned all the 3 forms, the butterfly swords, and also the dummy set. But a lot of the lessons that I learned from Wing Chun is really about staying focused and disciplined on your passion, building community where everyone feels safe and where they can grow, and of course, learning how to use your opponent's energy against themselves when you're getting bullied. So really important life lessons that I feel that has been with me for 41 years. And so this recognition is really special because we get to honor, the impact of Wing Chun, but also one school and one community that has made an impact over the decades. And so at this time, I would love for Sifu Jerry Fong to come up with everyone else just to say a few words, and then we'll take a picture. But congratulations on 41 amazing years, and I can't wait to see where the Academy goes. Yes, Spencer, please come up. You've been there since 1985, since the beginning. Oh, 81. Let me get that right, yeah. Yep, right at the podium.
I hear, right?
Yep, right there. Yeah.
No, go
You
ahead.
say a suit first.
I'll let these gentlemen.
JC go first.
Hi. Well, hello, my name is Jean-Pierre Franciette, close pronunciation earlier. I'm one of the Sifus of the school. Myself and Sifu Jerry Fong took over the school about 3 years ago with Grandmaster Chong's blessing and encouragement. So we're just so happy to carry on the traditions that he taught us over the years studying there for decades now. I know that Sifu Jerry Fong might want to say a few words. I'd like to introduce Spencer Wong.
Thank you.
Who has been a mentor to both of us. Grandmaster Chong couldn't be here today, unfortunately, but Spencer Wong is, and I asked if he could say a few words, and Jerry could say a few words, so.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, I've been there for quite a few years. We started actually in 1980, and got it going 1981 in the Sacramento area, and then we got it booming. In between, when I started, then I got married, then I became a Boy Scout leader, went all the way up to district commissioner, and then before I retired, I became a vocational instructor for the Department of Corrections. So it helped me too. So it was good, and then I retired from Folsom State Prison, But anyway, this Wing Chun is, to me, it was one of the best styles ever. It's the one that when I first started, even before I met Sifu Eddie Chong, it was back in the 65. And we heard back then it was, you know, one of the Bruce Lee styles. So it made it even more, and then when we looked into it, it was something that's, you know, very effective, you know, and pretty soon all these movies came out, and, you know, I just stay low now, because I'm all washed up, you know, enough. I got aches and pains, and, you know, so anyway, I'll let these guys take care. Thank you.
I'd like to say thank you. I'm just honored to be here. I'm extremely proud of this kid here. So I want to let this kid here, he came and he studied for about like 4 months, and then he had cancer on his brain, so a tumor. So from there, he had to have surgery and then chemotherapy for a whole year. He was gone. So he's back for about, 6 months? Maybe? Okay. He's doing really well. He's back, and his balance is back, and he's slowly healing. So anyways, this is Darren Wong. So Darren, say a few words about what you have learned.
In the Wing Chun class or school, I have been more confident in myself recently or lately because it helps me to think that I can self-defense from other people who might try to put me down sometimes.
Thank you, Darren, for sharing.
Hi, so I'm Darren's mother, and to expand upon that, I place him and his brother into Wing Chun because it is a school that has been very well established for, as you can all know, 4 decades. And I want it to be a place where they can learn a little bit about their Asian roots. Being Asian American, sometimes we feel disconnected from our original heritage because for here, they're absolutely 100% American. So unless we actively try to put them in cultural activities, my kids, I fear, might not know who they are. But the wonderful thing that came out of that, other than cultural recognition, is community. So when Darren was diagnosed with brain cancer, our family went through a lot of hardships, financially, emotionally. But the school supported us. They celebrated with Darren. No one was ostracizing him for him looking different after surgery and chemotherapy. So places like this, I am so grateful for, and so thankful for everyone here to recognizing this institution. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Why don't all of the students and everyone come up here, and we'll come down here, and we'll take a big group photo. And Darren, you did really good. I still got some Wing Chun in me, and I got to do chase out with you in a little. And Councilmember Kaplan?
I just want to invite all of my council members on August 7th at my AAPI night. Kung Fu Academy will be performing at the North Natomas Community Regional Park.
Okay, I will stop by in the evening.
All right, we'll start here first. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Oh, 2 more.
Count of 3, say Wing Chun. 1, 2, 3. Wing
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and it's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mayor, our next special presentation is being presented by you. It's Leslie Curry's 50 years of service to the city of Sacramento.
Yes, thank you. Leslie, you're a legend here around City Hall. And most council members, when they hear that we have a city employee that's been here for as long as you have, you predate the pension system, which we just discussed a couple hours ago. And they say, how many years? 20, 30? No. 40? No. 50 years serving the city of Sacramento. It is quite an honor to recognize you today. I know you've served in quite a few capacities in different departments through the city of Sacramento, and most importantly, you love coming to work and working with your coworkers and serving the city of Sacramento. And retirement's not for you. You find enjoyment in going to work every day and working for the city of Sacramento. So as long as you want to keep coming to work, we will gladly welcome you to the city of Sacramento. So I know you've been working here longer than quite a few, at least half of the council members here have been alive. And that's quite an honor and quite a distinction. And we just want to recognize you and celebrate you tonight. So we have a resolution recognizing your 50 years of service to the city of Sacramento. And then our crack streets division made you a sign as well, which matches your dress, apparently. And then you have 4 tickets to go to any event, or not any event, hopefully an event at an upcoming Golden One Center event as well. So. Yes, would you like to, I know you're very humble, but we want to invite you up to see if you'd like to say a few words.
So Leslie is too humble to brag about herself, so I am going to brag about her a little bit. We are celebrating a really important and special anniversary. Leslie's, over the last 5 decades, I'm happy to say most of them in the finance department. She strayed for a little bit into other departments.
3 months.
But most of them in the finance department. She's helped countless residents in a really professional and compassionate way. Leslie's taken the lead on a number of revenue capture projects, including working with the county to make sure that we get our property transfer tax quicker and more accurately than it was before. And, Leslie is a lot of times behind the scenes, but her efforts fund all of the services that us Sacramentans rely on. So again, and I'm very happy to say this is a celebration of a milestone, not an ending. I keep, like you, Mayor, I'm trying to sign her up for another 50 years. So I told her I have the contract upstairs. But I do want to say, Leslie, thank you very much for all that you've done for the city.
Thank you, Pete. And thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council, for the acknowledgement. 50 years flew by. It went by in a flash. And I do still enjoy coming to work every day, and I still enjoy working with all of my coworkers, and I enjoy the work. It has its challenges on a given day, but most of the time I run into a lot of really nice people. So I thank you for the resolution, and I thank you for the street sign. I much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Talamantes.
Leslie, I just want to say that I've heard a lot about you throughout the years, all good things, and I'm so excited to finally have like a face to a name and to meet you. And congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, they hide me back in a corner, see? Thank you again.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Got it.
Yeah.
If you guys would like to go up with her, you totally can. If you'd like to get into there, I'll take it for you.
Oh, we gotta be but thank you.
If I could everyone look here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Can everyone look here?
So Mayor, we now move to the discussion calendar, successor labor agreements, memorandum of understanding, and the citywide salary schedule, and a 2/3 vote is required on this item.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm Jennifer Wilkinson, Administrative Officer in the Human Resources Department. I'd like to briefly summarize the successor labor agreement with the Sacramento area firefighters, Local 522, and explain how it balances support for our workforce while recognizing the city's fiscal responsibilities. This agreement establishes a new 3-year term effective October 2025 through September 2028 and includes a 3% wage increase retroactive to October 2025, a 3% wage increase effective October 2026, a 3.5% wage increase effective October 2027, a 1.5% 10-year longevity incentive effective October 2026, the addition of a 6th salary step for the single-role Sacramento Fire EMT and Sacramento Fire Paramedic classifications effective September 2028, increases to health and welfare contributions, Juneteenth as a recognized holiday, and standby pay for the senior fire prevention officers and fire prevention officer 2s. At a time when the city continues to face significant budget pressures, this agreement was intentionally structured to avoid wage stagnation while remaining fiscally responsible. It reflects a shared understanding that maintaining a stable, high-performing workforce is important and as such represents sound fiscal stewardship. The salary schedule included with this item reflects the negotiated salary increases for Local 522 as well as salary adjustments established through successor memorandum of understandings. The schedule also includes an increase to the lead events associate hourly rate from $16.90 to $18.59, an increase to the senior lifeguard hourly rate from $19.50 to $20.35, and a salary adjustment for the Director of Economic Development, which is increasing the annual salary range from $141,798.34 to $221,757.39 to a range of $153,584.93 to $241,896.25. This item is presented as a discussion item because Government Code Section 54953 requires an oral report summarizing recommendations for final action on salaries, salary schedules, or compensation paid in the form of fringe benefits for a local agency executive. And the Director of Economic Development meets the definition of a local agency executive under Government Code Section 3511.1D. And staff respectfully recommend approval of this resolution. And that's the end of my presentation.
Mayor, I have no public comments on this item.
Okay, Vice Mayor Talamantes.
Happy to move this item.
Right, motion is second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any noes or abstentions? Hearing none, item passes 9-0. Next item.
So Mayor, we now move to items 2 and 3. As these are similar items, we'd like to present them together. Item 2 is a resolution adopting a community immigration action plan and directing the city manager to develop citywide policies in support of this resolution. And item 3 is an ordinance adding chapter 12.73 of the Sacramento City Code relating to the restriction of city property for civil immigration enforcement. A majority vote is required on this, and in lieu of pass for publication, we will publish this ordinance in its entirety.
Okay, so we don't have a presenter. This was a council member priority. So, Councilmember Guerra.
Thank you very much, Mayor and members of the council. I'd like to first present this item here with my colleagues, Councilmember Vang and Vice Mayor Karina Talamantes here as well. The Sacramento City and Community Action Plan. I'm very proud to bring this plan forward, and also in response of what we've heard from our communities, from our families, from our leaders, from our small business owners, all of who are saying that we need to continue to be what Sacramento has been, is a community of immigrants, a city that was built by immigrants, and then to honor that movement forward. Now, that's been our history, and that's the fact is, and some people may not like that, but the reality is that our city has successes have come from so many, and it's actually been the strength that has made us persevere in so many parts of our chapter. Now, this plan builds upon an already established framework and policy that dates back to 1985, when the city first declared itself and formally passed a sanctuary city resolution. And this was at a time when our churches all came together and said they needed to support many of our refugees that were coming from El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. And since that time frame, that has been the philosophy of the city as well. In 2017, if we can move the slides forward here. And we'll continue, let's keep moving them forward. I don't know who's managing the controller here, but we'll keep moving to the next slide here. So, thank you very much, appreciate that. In 2017, we were confronted with a new challenge. And that challenge prompted us to go back to the community and ask, what can we do? And in 2017, we updated our resolution to meet the issue of the day. And that was the first time we moved forward an immigration platform, which declared that the city, the staff resources, and funding of the city, our local taxpayers, would not be used for civil federal immigration enforcement, and to prioritize the community trust and access to our municipal services. I want to first acknowledge, at that point, there were a number of individuals here from our community, from the Unity Bar, and specifically from the Cruz Reynoso Bar Association, who came together and said, this is how we can provide something, a policy, and also a legal platform framework of how to move forward. And today, that next step that we are doing is doing what we did in 2017, was updating the policy for the challenges that confront us today. When we started on this journey in 2017, one of the things that we realized is that we were stronger together. And one of the creations was to create the Sacramento Family Unity and Education Legal Network. And that network recognized that if we could use all of the legal resources from every organization, whether it was CARE, whether it was our bar associations, the Unity Bar, the Sacramento Bar, our nonprofits, like Opening Doors, our churches and synagogues as well, and our other places of worship, that we could pull together and provide the resources that were needed. Over 80 local nonprofits came together, organizations that worked on providing housing, on providing food, on providing resources. And those that are already working on issues that affect the immigrant community, such as food insecurity. I do want to thank NorCal Resist for the consistent work on addressing those issues on the basic needs that people have when they've been confronted in these challenges. And since that time frame, in 2003, what have we seen? We've seen that over thousands of people have received information of Know Your Rights. We trained teachers, educators on what to do at our schools. We trained our service workers on how to respond. We trained our neighbors essentially on what the changing climate was about so that they knew their legal rights as well. We had hundreds of people receive legal consultations, because what good is the law if you don't understand it or can enforce it and protect your rights? Again, in that same time frame, this network that the city has put together and funded also helped provide legal defense and deportation representation, and since that time has helped a full scope of need. One of the important things that our city relies on is a strong economy, and that the resilience of that strong economy is also based on our workforce here. And if our workforce is insecure, our small businesses can't succeed, and many of our small businesses also are immigrants themselves who came to Sacramento and said, I want to start a better life and be a positive change for that aspect. We've had over 944 Sacramento residents also receive, support from DACA from this area as well. And one of the most challenging things that we see during this time is that immigrants and refugees undergo incomprehensible amounts of stress, and anxiety. And the one thing we identified during the pandemic that this network also did was it pulled together our mental health and physical and well-being service providers, organizations like La Familia Counseling Center, Asian Resources, and been able to pull together the resources that we need to provide people that were going through an immense amount of stress during these legal situations, and as well other aspects that their children may have needed at that time. Bear in mind, while they were working and providing for a strong economy here as well. In this January, the City Council unanimously adopted an update to our city immigration platform that we passed in 2017. And as we should always review our policies, our platforms and laws so that they're meeting the time and the demands of the day, that platform reinforced many of the issues that we've had before. One, making sure that our municipal resources are for municipal needs, ensuring that the public feel the trust to be able to come to their city for all of their municipal resources and needs, and also to protect the needs of free speech and ensuring that we have that as the First Amendment right as well in our city. In April, later we brought back to council a resolution adopted unanimously that prohibited the city's property from being used for immigration enforcement activities. We see many cities moving in that direction. The council also directed the city manager to come back with something stronger, recognizing that the Supreme Court and the federal courts had acted already on challenges that our cities may face. And this leads us to where we all are also today, ensuring that we have an ordinance focused on these issues. And as part of that motion, again, it's a comprehensive implementation plan and timeline on how we respond to these needs. I want to again say and close by thanking those that have been involved in this for a long time. At a time, when at first we were challenged with no lack of resources, where schools did not know how to respond, and because of it, created an environment where many of our service providers now are working together and leading. And I thank previous councils for voting to support the financial support for these organizations during the pandemic, using those same organizations to support our immigrants and refugees, and now taking that next step to update the community action plan for the needs that we have today. Sacramento is stronger because of it, but we need to continue to reevaluate ourselves every single time and look at how we can do more. Let me pass this on over to Councilmember Vang on the community action plan.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I really appreciate that beginning part of our presentation. I just first want to say thank you to Mayor Pro Tem Guerra for your leadership over the years before Vice Mayor Talamantes and I came onto the council. And I also just want to echo that I also know that we wouldn't be here today without the community who actually demands more of mayor and council to do what we can to protect our refugee and immigrant communities. This work, the work that started for the community action plan really started last year, even though it builds upon the work that the city has already done. But it really started last year when community advocates sent in a letter to demand a list of demands from the city, demanding that we do more to protect and prepare our city in case of ICE raids and rapid enforcement. That letter was sent to us in November as well, and it actually led to us updating the immigration platform, led to the resolution that is now today actually that Mayor Pro Tem presented, no longer a resolution but an ordinance. And so this part of the presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about the action plan, and then we'll hand it over to Mayor Pro Tem to talk about the actual action plan. This action plan is a larger effort of the work that we're doing. This work started, again, because of the community's demand to make sure that we do more. And often I have shared that Sacramento is not immune to what unfolded in Minnesota. We saw raids that happened in Sacramento. We know that ICE is here kidnapping our residents, our neighbors, and we have to do more to really hold the line. And I think it's really important that as we created this plan that we're working with community service provider, advocates, and those closest to the work, that those that are closest to the work protecting our immigrant and refugee communities. The purpose and the goal of the action plan is really to ensure that the city is prepared and coordinated and responsive to the changes in the immigration enforcement environment. There does need to be a preparedness and a plan focused on maintaining access to city services and supporting community trust and ensuring that city staff actually understand their roles and responsibilities. So for example, the Pennell Community Center, what should city staff do if ICE was coming to the community center, right? And I think it's really important for city staff to have process and protocol in place. And so the community action plan is really our goal to provide clarity and consistency and coordination so that city departments can work appropriately to address what's happening. And so I do want to share a timeline. This is a timeline of just our careholder engagement efforts. Mayor Pro Tem Guerra, Vice Mayor Talamantes, and I did take time to listen to our community members, their concerns, listen to service provider, and we did incorporate it.
Hold on a second. We will have time to public to participate, but if we don't follow the rules, we will have to change our hearing tonight and potentially have it without you. So if you'd like to have us engage in this action and debate these and vote on these, we can, but if you want to continue, we will have the hearing without you in the audience, so.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, well, we're just noting that you need to follow decorum. Thank you.
So just wanted to add that Vice Mayor Talamantes, Mayor Pro Tem Guerra, and I did meet with community care holders. We actually held 3 joint community meetings that happened on April 13th. The first meeting was for feedback and engagement. April 29th was the second meeting to discuss a draft with incorporated feedback. And then May 18th, we also had a third meeting to go over submitted drafts and address any outstanding questions from community care holders. I do want to note that this community action plan is a living document, which means it's not static. It is constantly changing, so there is always room to do better and to make changes necessary. I also want to note, just for transparency, that I will be supporting the plan tonight, but there were definitely minor disagreements on key components. However, I do believe that the action plan still incorporates the original intention to ensure that our city has a coordinated, prepared response, federal immigration enforcement, depending on scope and severity. I just want to share with folks that I understand there is a heightened concern, especially around data sharing, information access as well, and I do want to hold space and acknowledge this. Councilmember Maple and I will be pursuing a different effort in addition to this to build on this, to request for an evaluation and reporting mechanism of cities' participation in various joint task force with federal agency to ensure that there's no violation. So I do want to add that this is, again, this is a living document, and we do plan to continue to build on it. I do want to take a moment to say thank you to all of our incredible nonprofit, mutual aid efforts, community-based organization on the ground doing this work. You are truly holding the line, doing everything you can to protect our refugee and immigrant communities. I do want to hold space and thank them for their incredible work and service, and that as a city entity, we can't do it alone, but we have to make sure that we're in alignment with our community partners, and that is my commitment to all of you. As the city manager convenes, if this proposal passes, as the city manager convenes our interdepartmental groups, I think it's going to be really important that she also brings our care holders with us as well. We need to make sure that as the city is responding, that we're moving in parallel with existing rapid response networks and our immigration ecosystem that already exists. That is really important. And again, this community action plan is a living document, and we can continue to improve it. And next, I will hand it over to Vice Mayor Talamantes to share a little bit about the actual community, I can just go through it, action plan.
Okay, thank you so much. I know I say this a lot, but I'm the proud daughter of immigrant parents, and this issue of immigration is just so personal to me, to my family, to my loved ones, and to the community. Earlier this year, one of my constituents, Maria, was deported even though she has DACA, and we spent a month working with advocates and lawyers to be able to make sure she returned home safely, and she did. But no one should have to go through what she went through. Everything that she went through was unconstitutional, and she now lives with trauma from her experience in that ICE building. I did get news earlier that a federal judge now bars ICE from making arrests in immigration courts. And so that's a win for the nation, and I hope to see more resistance in not just Sacramento, but across the nation with a lot of our large cities as we move forward. Because these unlawful and undemocratic things happening across America impacts all of us. All of us. And every single one of us, from the private sector to the public sector, has a role to play in this fight to keep our immigrant and refugee communities safe. I receive many texts and calls from community members anytime there's an unmarked vehicle in the community, and it scares our entire community when that happens. So us being aligned, having better communication, and working together to protect our residents of Sacramento is the most important thing that we can do. And that's why we decided to work together to formalize this plan. So I'm going to go into it. So Section 1, Councilmember Vang summarized the need for it and why we created it. Section 2. So this is the city framework. Councilmember Guerra, mentioned we've been a sanctuary city since 1985, and we have our immigration platform. What we did on it was explain what it does and what it means, and we put it all in like a one-stop location so that people can see all the work that we're doing on this subject matter. So on the platform, it says what it is and what it does. Our police department general orders and contacts with foreign nationals. So when I was meeting with Chief Lester in November of last year, she created this binder for me of what our internal protocols look like if a police officer were to interact with an ICE agent who's out at someone's house, or what happens and what de-escalation tools look like. And the way that it's formatted is very much in code language, like section 546 under C35. It's just very confusing. So to a regular resident like me, I wasn't able to understand the internal protocols. So what we asked for was an FAQ on what happens and clear, direct answers. And so city staff did work really hard on that, on updating our website and making it very clear that the City of Sacramento Police Department does not work with ICE, and that we need people to call 911 if there's an emergency.
That's not true.
If people are experiencing domestic violence, they need to call 911. It is safe to do so that people can get the public safety that they need. So we got clear FAQs on this.
Of course you're not.
Secondly, the CAD system. So if someone that's masked up, that doesn't identify themselves, goes to my house or, Phil's Plucky Mom's house, and he or she's, a significant other calls 911 and says, hey, there's someone at my house, police will respond to that, and they will document it into the CAD system. This is now updated, and so it's going to help us create a list of reports of incidents that are happening or not happening in the city of Sacramento. So this is a computer automated dispatch, and I will have Deputy Monk explain it here in a little bit after public comment. Our city attorney's office, because of our immigration platform that we signed, has signed on to 25 different amicus briefs. We as mayor and council have directed them to push the line, to push the envelope, and to sign on to any major lawsuit against the federal government that protects residents of the city of Sacramento. If you see a lawsuit that another city has done and maybe the city of Sacramento has not signed on to yet, that we're unaware of, please contact us, and we are happy to explore it and sign on so that we can continue to fight with other large cities. Our city manager will be posting Know Your Rights on all our community center buildings, city offices, libraries, and other relevant city properties so that city staff know what their rights are, and so that other people that visit our public spaces can see that.
But when PD violates
Additionally, our city attorney's office has a 24/7 hotline that is monitored. So if you're at the community center and a community center staff sees that there's maybe an ICE agent there, they can contact the city attorney's office to be able to get the support that they need so that we can protect the people that are using our public spaces. Councilmember Bang.
Vice Mayor, if I may, I wanted to remind members of the audience, please do not disrupt the orderly conduct of these proceedings by continuing to speak out from the audience. You are in violation of Chapter 5A1 of the City Council Rules of Procedure, and if you continue, you'll be ordered to leave the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. We will be offering Know Your Rights trainings to city staff with a sponsored lunch. This will be 100% optional, but the city manager will be sending an invite to all 5,000 plus of our city employees. Councilmember Van Guerra and I will be hosting them in the South Center and downtown in the North area so that all our employees get an opportunity to get some education. Community partnerships. We also list recommendations of what the other government organizations and just nonprofit organizations can do to be able to be an ally in this space. And that means, workplace protocols, worker protection guidance, fundraisers for the incredible nonprofits doing this work, religious faith-based leaders keeping the peace and providing people with safety, know your rights trainings, legal assistance, offering restrooms, placing signs in solidarity to make sure that people know that their businesses are safe spaces. We can't demand everyone to participate, but we can provide them with the resources and the place to go with information. And that calls for also leveraging resources. We, the city of Sacramento, put in $500,000 through the field network. And when people call in, they might be calling in from Citrus Heights or Folsom or Elk Grove. And so it's important for us to work together as a Sacramento region, along with our district attorney's office, businesses, chambers, unions, associations, faith-based, community leaders, schools, academic, healthcare. Everyone has a role to play. Councilmember Bang created a tiered city response and a scenario planning for the city manager to develop protocols and collaborations with council members and city staff and the mayor and council, because we get the text messages from the community if something happens out there, and we need to be able to be verified whether it is ICE or is not ICE or what it is to make sure that we are also providing accurate information to the residents of Sacramento. So the city manager will be creating this tiered response for us. Section 5. Accountability and transparency. Any city personnel not in compliance with the city's immigration policies will be subject to review by the city manager. We have a few employees, and they are 6 of them, and there are charter officers. Our charter officers, our city manager is in charge of all the employees at the city of Sacramento. So she has the purview and the guidance to be able to direct city staff to do this. And if people are not in compliance, also to figure out next steps. We have committed to quarterly meetings with the advocates in this space because Councilmember Bang said, this is a living document and things change quickly, and so we need to make sure that we can communicate about these issues. Also creating metrics of success and outcomes and sharing verified updates with the field network. Section 6 is resource directory and reporting resources. At the end of the day, we have to work with our county partners, with state government, and with our congressional representatives who day in and day out are taking votes at Congress, where they can directly fight back and push back for us. And so I, just recommend to all our community members is to pay attention to what's going on with the federal government and also use our voices collectively to advocate for a safer country for us. What Trump and his administration is doing continues to be unconstitutional, and we have to fight back for us. So I do want to, Councilmember Bang thanked a lot of the community organizations, and I also want to thank city staff for working with us within the confines of government and what we're allowed to do and not do. So from our city attorney's office, Emilio, and from our city manager's office, Consuelo and Amy, and former Chief Lester, who did a lot of work on this. So thank you. And then we will take public comment, and then afterwards we will do all the questions for city staff.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you, council members, and thank you for your leadership in pushing this forward. And now we will proceed with public comment. I'll have more comments later.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 25 speakers. Praya, Alexandria, Australia, Francis, Liana, Moyes, and feel free to line up in the middle aisle if you'd like. Again, Praya, Alexandria, Francis, Leanna.
Can I start?
Yeah,
Please proceed.
Sorry. Okay, thank you. Hi, City Council members. My name is Priya, and I am a Sacramento community member. It is disappointing that this action plan is only a watered-down version of the ask that a united coalition of community organizations have been providing as feedback to the city for months. I urge the council to continue to work on the language and strengthen this item to protect Sacramento's immigrant community and set a stronger direction if it is to truly serve as a living document. Sacramento needs an overarching policy guiding all interagency law enforcement collaboration and partnerships to ensure that the city's sanctuary vision is not violated. The city manager should not be implementing a community plan in a vacuum. The implementation of this plan must be guided by a robust community engagement strategy to collect and incorporate the feedback and wisdom of community members with lived experience and expertise. That being said, I appreciate that Council members Vang and Maple plan to continue engaging with the community on this matter and support that effort moving forward. Thank you for your time.
Alexandria?
Good evening. My name is Alexandra Estrella, and I'm a Sacramento resident and work with the California Immigrant Policy Center. This matters to me because I know how quickly trust in local government breaks down when protections are unclear, unenforced, or fail to deliver meaningful safety to immigrant communities. I appreciate the City Council's efforts to strengthen protections for immigrants through both the Community Immigration Action Plan and the proposed ordinance on city property use. However, I urge the Council to grant continuance on both items and work with community members to strengthen them before adoption. The Community Immigration Action Plan largely restates existing Sacramento Police Department policies and relies heavily on community organizations without providing sufficient resources, measurable goals, or accountability mechanisms. It lacks audits, reporting requirements, enforcement measures, and meaningful oversight, leaving too much discretion to the city manager while doing little to expand protections beyond existing law. The plan also fails to include investments community members have consistently called for, including emergency response support, eviction prevention services, and dedicated funding for the fuel network. Similarly, while the city property ordinance prohibits the use of non-public city property for civil immigration enforcement activities, it does not go far enough to fully disentangle the city from federal immigration enforcements. The ordinance lacks clear enforcement mechanisms, oversight, liability provisions, and consequences for violations. Without accountability, community members cannot be confident that these protections will be upheld in practice. Sacramento deserves policies that move beyond statements of intent and provide enforceable protections, meaningful accountability, and real investments in immigrant communities. I respectfully urge the council to grant a continuance on both items and work collaboratively with the community members to strengthen these proposals. Thank you.
Thank you. Francis is our next speaker, and then Leanna.
Hi again, Francis with Decarcerate Sacramento. Let's just start with the name. Community, it ignores input from the community. Immigration, it does nothing new to legally protect or provide additional funding to material support our immigrant community. Action, it actually lacks any form of proactive action. And plan, I don't see a plan here, and I don't trust y'all to make one without more community input. We don't support this policy, and it disregards input from your fake community engagement process that wastes months of our time and effort. We've been here since November expressing our concerns about SAC PD, its history of sharing data with ICE, its use of surveillance technology, and its participation in federal task forces. The blanket response we've heard is SAC PD is in compliance with SB 54 and not sharing data for immigration enforcement. That's a blatant lie, and you know that. It came up at 2 p.m. SAC PD claimed it was in compliance with state and local sanctuary law, and then it directly admitted that the Fusion Center participates and shares data with ICE, DHS, and the FBI. Are you going to do anything about it? No. The mayor and city manager tried to hide this item on the consent calendar. You're complicit. And I don't know why it needed continuance. Everything you need to know is there, and you should have voted no. We have demanded that you terminate any existing agreements between SAC PD and the Joint Terrorism Task Force, but Councilmember Talamantes blocked this from being included in the Community Action Plan under the false pretense that she won't take any resources away from stopping human trafficking. There is no evidence or paperwork behind that, and you said it yourself. You can't read or understand SACPD's policies. You just parrot their lies. And the stakes are getting higher. This task force is being used across the country to arrest and charge anti-ICE protesters with domestic terrorism, and you don't care. Last week in Minnesota, 15 anti-ICE organizers were arrested. Today, anti-ICE protesters in Texas were sentenced with 50 to 100 years in prison. Do you care? I'm really thankful that Maple and Bang are going to do something about this because it's ridiculous, and you guys are complicit with our fascist federal government.
The next speaker is Leanna, then Moyes, then Tim Arsenault.
Hi again. Hi, Kevin. How you doing? Yeah? You gonna listen this time? Or are you gonna watch the clock? Thank you for your eyes. I really appreciate you actually paying attention. Because you really don't, and I have a lot of pictures of it. I'm really tired. Oh, you go on and do your fucking job, you piece of shit. How about you actually listen to the fucking community who is telling you that this bullshit community action plan doesn't do dick, that PD is arresting people left and right, including myself, for protesting. Protesters left and right are being abused by ICE, bear-maced, and then we are stopped by PD. ICE agents will call PD on us, and PD shows up, and they go against us. That is collusion. You are supporting that. You are not supporting the community. The community that you say you fucking support, this community immigration action plan. It's fucking bullshit, and you need to do your fucking jobs. I don't care if anyone has a fucking problem with the word fuck, because you shouldn't have a problem with that when people are fucking dying. You call this a living document, but you do not give a shit that people are dying. It's time to give a shit about your fucking community and not pretend. Do something. Do something that matters. Don't sit there and say, oh, I'm so proud of this community action plan, when we have told you it's not good. The people that you are thanking for helping you build it are telling you it's fucked. So maybe let's not fucking do it, huh? That's an idea, right? I know it's a shocking one, but you could do your job. Get fucked.
Is Moyes, then Tim Arsenault. Moyes, then Tim Arsenault, then Kimura, then Keon Bliss.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Moyes with the Asian American Liberation Network. This process started with a letter. I see some of you are currently reading the letter we submitted to you yesterday. We did meet with you. We did have 3 meetings. We did co-create a plan. And I know that policy making is discussion, it's dissection, it's figuring out what works for community. And community is telling you this isn't enough. This needs more work. This isn't enough. We've been asking you very specifically, and I'm glad that Maple and Vang council members are going to be working on that piece, but to have that policy removed about monitoring SACPD makes this dysfunctional. A couple of the many myriad of other things wrong with this policy, we specifically asked a number of times. It was in the policy, it was then taken out. Why was it taken out? That ALPR data, automated license plate reader retention policy of SACPD, needs to be reduced from 2 years to 30 days. That was in the policy, it's not in there anymore. Why is it being watered down? This piece of community accountability, we need that engagement with the city manager. We need that co-creation, we need that co-development. There's so many pieces to this that we have been doing the work for you for months. Attached to this letter is our previous letter we sent on in response to those series of meetings with so many questions on what are the barriers, very specifically, what are the gaps, what does it take to close them? And none of that information is in the staff report for this item. We asked you to ask those questions. I hope you do when it comes to you asking city staff for accountability.
Next speaker is Tim Arsenault, then Kimora, then Keon Bliss.
All right, my name's Tim. I am a resident of Sacramento. I've been here most of my life. I'm just here to be one of the many voices expressing dissatisfaction with the city's current approach to dealing with ICE and their lack of protection for immigrants and the most vulnerable in our communities. What I'm calling for is what's been expressed before, an ordinance, something legally binding for how law enforcement is going to engage with ICE in a way that actually protects people in these communities. Because the fact of the matter is that this resolution, when it's not legally binding, when there isn't that accountability piece, really amounts to nothing more than political theater, right? It's pandering, right? We get up for the land acknowledgement, as if that's important when y'all aren't doing your job to protect people of color in the here and now. And just to be honest, we see through that, right? Like the people here that actually want real material change, we see through the bullshit. We see through the dog and pony show. We want something that's actionable. We want actual accountability. We're tired of hearing, yeah, we care about this community, we care about immigrants, when none of that is actually being shown through actions. That's what voters care about. That's what we respond to. And until that happens, we're gonna keep being here. We're gonna be annoying. Arresting protesters isn't gonna change anything. That resistance is going to continue. So whatever fear or anxiety is preventing y'all from passing this as an ordinance, it's not gonna help anything, because wherever ICE goes, there's chaos and disorder. And we're tired of it. We're not just going to stand idly by and watch our neighbors and our loved ones have violence enacted upon them. It doesn't matter if you have police arrest people, the resistance isn't going to stop. So what needs to happen is something that's legally binding and accountable, because we will fight to survive one way or another. Thank you.
Next speaker is Kimoria. Kimoria, Keon Bliss, T. Dons, then Marcelena, then AJ Albano.
Hi there. My name's Kim Iora, and I'm here to read a comment from a friend of mine who couldn't be here because her husband is afraid if she comments, ICE will come for her. So just to think about that situation and where we are in this time in history, I never thought that I would see this happening here. But anyways, what she says is, "Dear Mayor and City Council, what ICE has been doing in our communities across the U.S. is immoral and illegal. When this reign of terror ends, perpetrators of racist and illegal acts against our citizens, green card holders, and immigrants who helped us so much during COVID and often served as essential workers will be brought to justice. Our Constitution and Bill of Rights specify the rights of all in this country to due process. Please remain on the right side of history and justice, and do not allow SAC PD to collude with ICE in terrorizing our neighbors, our refugees, our child care workers, our builders, healthcare workers, agricultural workers, and all of whom we desperately need. Say no to masked racist men." Like, what is this happening? I'm reading this. This is actually, it seems so. In unmarked cars with deadly weapons and hearts full of hatred. In any other country, these would be called death squads. We cannot team up with ICE, which breaks our rights to privacy, access to due process, true courts that don't summarily assign tens of thousands, I guess, of detainees to mass deportation rulings. We must not share the precious information of our Sacramentans with ICE. We must unite against hate, recognize that our immigrants are family, and strengthen our democracy and lead with love, kindness, and clarity that we are all part of one human race family. You have the power, do what's right, you know what's right. Thank you.
Next speaker is Keon. I don't see Keon. T. Dons. Following T. Dons is Marcelena, AJ Albano, Marissa McClune.
To keep things simple, this ordinance has no actionable measures presented at all. As a matter of fact, it explicitly mentions that it can't be used as the basis of liability against the city. So nobody can sue you if you don't abide by it. So there's nothing in there about what will be there, what will be present in the city manager's policies or whatever she's going to be putting out. The resolution this is based on was already a husk of what the community was asking from you all. One thing your constituents, are demanding is accountability. And instead of listening to them, you've put that responsibility onto the city manager, who has no civilian oversight. If you pass this ordinance as it is written, all of Sacramento is gonna know that you are more concerned with what is quite frankly scoring political points on paper than doing your fucking jobs. And you need to take this back to the drawing board and implement the feedback the community has given to you. We need a continuance on both of these. Do not pass them as they are. You will be shown as frauds.
Do not pass.
T. Dons. T. Dons is next. Okay, pardon me. Marcelina, then AJ Albano.
Hi, everyone. I'm Marcelina. I'm with the Sacramento Immigration Committee, and I'm insulted that this is being brought forth today. We spent months telling you what the community wants, and none of it is included. These boil down to three things: more funding for immigrant legal services, SAC PD leave the Joint Terrorism Task Force, and real consequences against violators of the sanctuary resolutions. We have funding for immigrant services that is being allocated to hundreds of vacant positions in the SAC Police Department. Yet here we are with this crappy plan saying you will need to search and solicit the state for more funding from other places. I also want to take my time to name that exiting the Joint Terrorism Task Force was unilaterally removed by Councilmember Talamontes, who outcried it would take away resources from child trafficking while offering no proof of her claims. To that, I want to say that you exaggerate like a white woman. And some might call you a Karen. You're a traitor to your people, dishonor to you. Stop providing resources to the real human traffickers, which are ICE. I would, call out Guerra, but you don't show up to the meetings. So this really is just like points for you.
AJ.
My name's AJ. I'm with Decarcerate Sacramento. Another presentation on a community action plan and another room full of community members who feel shut out. This started with a letter. That's actually what pulled me into this. I read that letter. I saw the potential to strengthen our policies, to strengthen our protections for our immigrant community, to strengthen the protections for our dissenters who are going out into the community and dissenting and expressing our dissent. And all that's happened is it's been delayed, diluted, and absent of meaningful accountability and enforcement mechanisms. You guys gave us, we've been asking for an ordinance, and then you gave us what is technically an ordinance. But the reason why we ask for an ordinance is for accountability and for enforcement purposes. And the only indication and the only mention of enforcement is enforcement, no private right of action. This chapter does not create or form the basis of liability on the part of the city or any city department, agency, official, or employee, nor does it create a private right of action against the city or any city personnel. That is all you have addressed when when we were asking you for an ordinance. That is what you produce. It is as if you were trying to prove to us that an ordinance is just as unenforceable and just as unaccountable as a resolution. What an insult. How insulting. How stupid do you think that we are? Do you think that we're stupid, or do you just not care? We have to get back to what that letter initially stated. This is not ready to move forward. You need to continue this, both of these, and go back to those letters.
Thank you for your comments. Marissa McCoon is our next speaker, then Randy, then Omar Guerrero, then Claudia Rios Manzo. Please proceed.
Hi, my name is Marisa McCune. I've never done this before. I'm a county employee. I am a community member. I'm a community organizer, and I am an ICE protester. I'm here really to kind of add a little insight into what is actually happening at the ICE field office, the John Moss building. SAC PD regularly are working directly with ICE and colluding with ICE. They are harassing and arresting protesters at the ICE building and in the vicinity. They're distracting protesters so that ICE can move convoys and transport vehicles for caravans and raids. They are, of course, the police are using city-owned property to do this. They are city employees, so they are a resource, and they are harassing, not only harassing protesters, but they are actively helping ICE. They are escorting ICE in and out of the ICE facility. We do have our free speech rights. We do have a right to protest. We need training for officers. We need racial bias training for officers. We need to stop pretextual stops. And we need to stop racial profiling. There was an incident on May 28th where ICE dragged my friend down 29th Street with, an ICE agent dragged my friend down 29th Street with his car. I called 911 so that SAC PD could help. I will never do that again. You have lost my trust.
Thank you for your comments. Our next speaker is Randy. Randy, then Omar, then Claudia, then Anne Marie.
Good evening. My name is Randy Gottlieb. I'm a licensed marriage family therapist specializing in trauma. And I think it is clear that the action plan as currently written is not sufficient to protect Sacramento's immigrant community. The action plan as currently written does not adequately support Sacramento as a sanctuary city. The action plan as currently written is full of nice words, but it lacks substance. The action plan before the council today does not include the specific provisions that were recommended time and time again by a broad coalition of the organizations with the most experience and expertise to protect. To protect who? To protect Sacramento's immigrant community from ICE's unlawful and violent detentions. Do not pass them as written. Take the time to continue to add the substantive language that will be sufficient to do what you say are your values. You say is what you want to do, but it's just words if you don't add in the accountability piece and the substance that everyone here from the community is telling you, whether you like their style or not. We can disagree about that. But substantively, there's much more work that needs to be done. So do it.
Our next speaker is Omar Guerrero, then Claudia Rios Manzo, then Anne Marie Smith.
No human being is illegal, a criminal, or an invader on stolen land. Aquí estamos y no nos vamos. The Trump administration, ICE, and other rogue federal immigration officers are currently holding our communities hostage with fear and fascism. Your community action plan included plenty of statistics that paint an unreal reality. Here's a daunting statistic from the American Immigration Council. From December 2025 through January 2026, ICE has arrested, on average, 1,264 people per day, over 300% increase from the year before. Those are just arrests. Not to mention that the brutal reality that these unconstitutional arrests are human beings, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and children who have been unjustly kidnapped from their homes and who are being tortured in concentration camps throughout the United States without the right to legal counsel, a fair trial, or even drinkable water. Not only the Trump administration's actions of violent not only are the Trump administration's actions a violent act of oppression aimed towards our undocumented neighbors who have had contact with ICE, but it directly affects American citizens as well as the very fabric of American democracy on multiple levels. It is sad to say that we have enemies within the United States of America, and they are not our undocumented neighbors. The enemies within the United States sit grotesquely in the White House. They cower behind masks and ICE uniforms and amongst the corrupt bureaucrats who wield their suits and positions of power with greed and lust. I trust my undocumented neighbor more to keep my neighborhood safe than any pedophile politician or sycophants with guns and masks who dare to call me or my people illegal aliens. Again, no human being is illegal, a criminal, or an invader on stolen land. You all need to do your job and protect your community.
Next speaker is Claudia Rios Manzo, Anne Marie Scott, Chandra Muther, local bard, Joe Ayala.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Claudia Rios Manzo. I'm with the California Immigration Project, and I serve as a program coordinator for the Sacramento Fuel Program, which Councilmember Eric Guerra introduced at the beginning of this presentation. I'm proud of all of the work our partners have been able to do with the support from the Fuel Grant Award and are extremely grateful for its continued funding for 2026-2027. Beyond statistics, these numbers shared reflect the need from real people and real families in our community, as well as our partners' positive impact and determination to help meet these vital needs despite all odds. Today, I join many other organizations and community advocates to urge the city to pass an ordinance that supports and ensures further protections for the immigrant community in Sacramento. I encourage the city to act courageously and implement changes to policies and plans that reflect our values and ensure accountability and increase tangible support for implementation to uphold our shared vision. Partners and community leaders are on the front lines and are privy to all the ways in which our community is being attacked. The recommendations made for these two items impacting our immigrant community are not made lightly. They are informed by their extensive knowledge and reflect their dedication from serving this impacted community. Through working together, learning from other cities, and remembering the history of movements that have brought us to this moment, I am hopeful that we can continue to build the world we envision, not just for ourselves, but for those that will come after us. I urge City Council members to continue prioritizing funding for crucial services for immigrant communities so that these programs and policies can be implemented. We cannot and should not shy away from good trouble in order to help move the needle towards justice. Thank you.
I have 10 more speakers. The next is Anne Marie. I have 10 more speakers. Anne Marie.
Hi, my name is Anna Marie Smith. I live in District 6. I have made a comparison between Oakland and Sacramento. Oakland shows us that a much more rigorous policy is possible. Both cities have had sanctuary city policies for years, but Oakland's is much stronger, with very narrow exceptions and robust reporting requirements and enforcement mechanisms. Also, Oakland has left the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force, just like San Francisco and Portland, but not Sacramento. On the issue of city property, the Sacramento plan is much weaker than Oakland's. And when we compare the SAC plan with its own ordinance, see the next agenda item, we find inconsistencies. The SAC ordinance would prohibit the use of all city property by ICE. As it now reads, the SAC plan would prohibit only the city property that is, quote, close to the public from being used by ICE. See the top of page 6 in your Exhibit A. Under the plan, the city could also lease its property to, quote, the federal government. Okay, yes, it's a living document, but please reassure us that we're going to get the amendments needed, at least to draw your plan into some kind of consistency with your ordinance. Now, with all due respect to Mai Vang, I worry about the tiered emergency response framework. Advocates in the community need to keep a close eye on this. Is this going to be a Trojan horse for the expansion of SAC PD prerogatives? Finally, I want to know, how would this city respond in the event of a mass National Guard deployment? Oakland has taken the time and the lawyering fees to figure out how it's going to stop its police from taking orders from ICE and the National Guard in the event of a unilateral National Guard deployment. You haven't even touched that. Oakland, a city in our state, shows us what is possible. Do not pass this plan as written. Please make it a living document and really work on it some more.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Our next speaker is Shantra, then local.
Good evening. My name is Shantra Muther. I am a community member. I live in District 6. I am also a community college professor, and my students, nearly 100%, are immigrants. And over the past many months, you should see the absolute terror and stress that many of them are under, scared that they or their family members are going to be taken by ICE and disappeared. It is absolutely horrifying. However, you have not approved this ordinance yet. Please don't approve it yet. And in addition to a teacher, I'm also a song leader, and I'm going to sing a song for you. It's called It's Okay to Change Your Mind. I'm going to use the rest of my time singing it, and it goes a little like this. It's okay to change your mind. Show us your courage. Leave this behind. It's okay to change your mind, and you can join us here anytime. It's okay to change your mind, show us your courage, leave this plan behind. It's okay to change your mind, and you can join us here anytime. One more time, everybody. It's okay to change your mind, show us your courage, leave this behind. It's okay to change your mind, and you can join us here anytime.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Our next speaker is local Bard, then Joe Ayala. Local, thank you.
All right, this is your local Bard here, also known as Shrift. I came to talk to you about how, oh shit, that just ripped off. This ordinance means nothing. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Y'all promised 40 acres and a meal to my family. Y'all promising them a safe city, but they're not receiving anything. Why is there armored vans in Stockton? What are you guys planning? My friend got dragged in an intersection, and we talked to Sac PD. They had a conversation with the ICE agent. They said that he tossed his phone, keys, and wallet inside the ICE vehicle. You think that he really tosses his stuff inside the vehicle? And not only that, but the ICE agent is still currently working there, and we also requested footage of what happened from the intersection cameras to the police department. Y'all did not give us anything. We still have not gotten the footage. There is zero transparency. Anyways, I forgot what else I was going to say. It's my first time being up here. But anyways, y'all are a sack of shit, dude. 40 acres and a mule, this is not a sanctuary fucking city. Do better.
Our next speaker is Joe Ayala, then Ella Roberts. Next speaker is Joe, then Ella Roberts, then Indigo.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. My name is Joe Ayala. I'm an attorney here in Sacramento, and some of my clients happen to be immigrants. So we have a special stake in the issue. I just thought it's important that maybe you hear another point of view from somebody who practices law in the city and attempts to, make sure that the immigrant community has the resources available. I understand, having worked in government, that the city has some limitations on what it can do. It obviously can't stop ICE from enforcing immigration law, but it can certainly prevent itself from being complicit and collaborating in what ICE does. There is certain limitations, obviously, from what the federal government cannot require you to collaborate and enforce their federal laws. I'm sure your city attorney has explained that to you. In fact, there was a federal district court decision just yesterday that kind of dismissed the federal government's lawsuit against the city of LA for its very similar ordinance. So you're standing on strong ground in adopting your ordinance. And I wanted to sort of address some of the comments I've heard previously, which is I tend to agree with the passion and the direction that a lot of the other commentators have made. It's just that I understand also some of the limitations of government and what you can't do to frustrate the federal government's enforcement of its laws. I think you've made a very modest and important step in a continuation. I would urge, like a lot of the other speakers mentioned, maybe this not be the last step that you've taken. There's other additional things you can do, and I'd be more than happy to help craft any.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete.
Thank you, Joe.
Our next speaker is L.R. Roberts, then Indigo.
It's L.R. Roberts, I'm in District 5. My hubby and I helped get the sanctuary city in 1985. Will items 2 and 3 stop our city cops from cooperating with ICE? We've had 3 shooting incidents in Oak Park in the last few months. 7 neighbors have come to me. They don't go to the cops, they come to me. And you know, a 4-year-old was shot, was not killed, and the incident a block from me. So, are we going to spend resources on protecting the communities? Or are we going to spend resources on cooperating with ICE and not only arresting people, but putting somebody in the hospital with our city dollars? Let's not do that. Let's not spend city dollars having cops cooperate with ICE.
Next speaker is Indigo. I have 5 more speakers. After Indigo is Urena, then Bella Justin Purdy, then Roberta Alvarado.
Hi, my name is Indigo. I'm a resident of an adjacent city. I traveled here to tell you something. Sacramento PD will ignore any quote-unquote plan that has no enforcement mechanism. This document does not exist. Unless the community action document has tangible mechanisms providing data that prove SAC PD complies, any effect will be unmeasurable. In addition, if Sacramento decides to unilaterally ignore the documents, there will be no course of action to bring legal action against the city. In addition to the document that does not exist, ALPR's keeping data provides data for immigration enforcement to bypass any protections that might be enforced. Limiting the data collected to a 30-day maximum limits the potential damage caused by immigration personnel. Enforceable laws must sever existing and future contracts, unofficial collaboration, and data sharing between Sacramento and ICE. I urge the Sacramento City Council to reconsider the plan, which has been stripped of its teeth. Thank you. That's all.
Here's Urena, then Bella, then Roberta.
Hello. Okay. Hello, my name is Erna, and I will be living under District 4 in a few months. These 2 items are lacking any enforcement mechanisms, and the choices they make regarding the city policies do not target the actual links that are enabling ICE to kidnap our neighbors. Know Your Rights workshops are not enough. SACPD should not have access to Exxon licensed plate readers. You cannot control the way in which this data is used through policies. There must be a complete removal of their usage. And the City Council should take realistic steps within this action plan to move beyond contract agreements that can be easily skirted by PD members, as they have in the past. The bare minimum of that is to lower data retention limits, something that is not mentioned in this plan. Additionally, SACPD's continued participation in the Joint Terrorism Task Force is an economic and political connection. Acts and contracts are a political and economic connection. Policy does not remove contracts. It does nothing to actionably detangle the city from what is actually arresting citizens, actually deporting neighbors, and actually brutalizing our protesters. Leave the liberal nothingness that this plan is and begin working on action plans to target the economic connections you have put yourselves in through these contracts with these companies and federal task forces. Design a plan to exit the GTTF. Design a plan to remove your contracts with Axon. Don't approve these empty bullshit plans. Thank you.
Next speaker is Bella. Bella Justin Purdy. After Bella is Roberta, then Marbella.
Hello, my name is Isabella Justin Purdy. And I'm here to inform that the LGBS, they're cool, and I don't know why they're going against our, gender and stuff. And then not only that, the G-Force is the one who's doing all this stuff and causing all this headache. And whatever the hell Trump is doing in the building, we don't know. But I'm gonna say it like this ain't right. I've seen my protesters drug, I've seen them get hurt, and the scariest news is you guys are looking at a Native American who was the first one here. I hate to tell you, but my grandma's name, I don't know if y'all know it, but it's Isabella Bishop. My mom's name. She's still with me, but her name was Brenda Bishop. Brian Allen Bishop, the one the Sacramento police beaten and brutal before they took to the Sacramento County main jail. My grandma back in Alton got her arm broke back in women's rights in the protest. It wasn't even just a protest, it was women's rights, and then the next thing is it was due to our skin color. And you think that shit's funny? It's not. You guys need to do your job because apparently they're raping, they're killing. Hell, they even ran me over with one of their bumper cars walking, who I call a bumper car. Who the hell cares what it is? Because they hit me on my thigh. So guess what? I'm not falling for none of this BS because look, I'm ashamed of my hometown, Sacramento, California. You guys need to do a little bit better because I was born and raised in the city of Sacramento, California, Warner Grove, Twin Cities Road.
Next speaker is Roberta. Is Roberta, then Marbella.
Hi, my name's Roberta Alvarado. I'm not on business today. I'm just doing this personally. So I'm not representing anybody but myself. But I do ask that you go back and continue to work on this. I know this, of course, is an attack on immigrants, and also it's broader than that. It's anyone who's non-white or our allies, white allies, who care about community. And so people think that violence stays within the lines. So everybody's concerned, just concerned if it's them or not. But violence does not stay within the lines neatly. It thirsts. And this city needs to protect us from these people that are full of hate. They have an insatiable thirst for violence. They're dangerously apathetic. And they're roaming our streets, hunting anyone who's non-white. And now they've been given a pat on the back. These people have always existed, but now they're all gathered and given a badge. And so they're given a pat on the back and to act out their violent fantasies with no repercussions. The centers are their playgrounds. My concern is, of course, is there going to be a center around here? And how does that factor in and how are we going to be kept safe? But also, I fear for my daughters. I'm afraid that they're going to get targeted and be raped. I'm afraid my grandbabies will be trafficked. And this is not hyperbolic. We know that. We know that these facilities have our babies and our children. And we know that these people are rapists, pedophiles, and murderers. And the police are not a call away. They haven't shown us that they are any different. So I don't know where the line is for where they are. Because I'm one, even at my age and everything, I do not feel safe calling the police.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete. Our next speaker is Marbella.
Buenas noches. Soy inmigrante y soy mexicana. And I'm also here as Marbella Sala, as the president of Garlandland Northgate Neighborhood Association and District 3 Measure U. And first of all, I want to, and I know I'm probably going to get booed, but I have to say what I have to say. I want to thank especially Vice Mayor Talamantes. I was at all 3 of those meetings, and I saw how hard she worked to listen to the community. I disagree with all of you that she did not listen to the community, because she did. She had her staff. Mayor Pro Tem had his staff, and Councilwoman Meng had her staff. And you had the city attorney there at these meetings giving, yes, this is possible, no, this is not possible, and why. I thought it was a well-done engagement, and the community she was listening to the community, taking notes, came back with the drafts and incorporated. It's not perfect, but as the councilwoman said, it's a living document. I don't want to wait for another 3 months to get something that's absolutely perfect. Let's pass it as an ordinance. Let the city, I'm talking. I have a right to say what I say.
Have some respect.
I have a right to express myself. I don't do groupthink. Okay, so I'm expressing myself, and pass it. It's better than nothing. Let the city manager do what she can and come back. It's a living document. It's better. Our people, and I can tell you, the council member, Vice Mayor, came to Garlandland Northgate. 62% of that community is Latinos, Mexicanos, and they liked the plan. They said, this is great. We appreciate this. You guys are doing something. It's something. It's not everything, but it's something, and it's better. And I can tell you right now, if you don't pass it right now, 4 or 5.
Thank you for your comments. Your time is complete.
Thank you,
I have 4 more speakers.
Mayor. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Stop. Thank you. Stop it. Stop it. Thank you. Next speaker.
Mayor, point of order. It's one thing for you to disrespect us as mayor and council, but another to disrespect another resident. Please have some decorum in the council chambers. Otherwise, clerk, can we please read off the roll and we can just clear chambers?
I want to remind our guests, please do not disrupt the orderly conduct of these proceedings by continuing to speak out in the audience. You're in violation of Chapter 5, Section A1 of the Council Rules of Procedure. If you continue, I will order you to leave the meeting. Do you understand? Thank you. I have 4 more speakers that turned in slips in the lobby. Angelica, Jerry, Ethan, and Celi.
Hello, my name is Angelica Cabande, and I'm the director of Ugnay Filipino. Ugnay Filipino aims to build stronger bridges of support, access, and advocacy to the Filipino workers, tenants, seniors, and families in Sacramento County. Our programs are provided in English and Tagalog. I'm also a resident of District 5. First off, I want to thank the leadership and intent of council members and working on this very important issue. While we are glad to have been in the starting 3 meetings, 3 meetings is not enough to say the action plan is ready for approval. This action plan is a watered-down version of the ask that a united coalition of community organizations have been providing as feedback to the city for months. An example is there needs to be stronger protection on immigrant tenants who have been detained, and they are the breadwinners. How is the city going to ensure they and their family is not evicted? How are we going to ensure immigrant workers are protected by their employers and not use immigration status to inflict fear? Also, with ongoing harassment to immigrants and the constant new laws that the federal is putting on us, quarterly meetings is a long gap to meet with us. There needs to be monthly or biweekly or weekly meetings. Don't just pass this as a written approval. We are requesting a continuance to work on the language and strengthen this item to protect Sacramento's immigrant community and set a stronger direction. Thank you.
Next speaker is Jerry.
Hi, my name is Jack Ruiz, and I'm a Community Outreach Coordinator for Ignite Filipino, and I'm urging y'all to continue the discussion with the community that you've been meeting with for the past year, especially with the community who had been meeting with the city staff and members for months. Adopting a resolution for the Community Immigration Action Plan is overdue, but this current proposal does not address the realities and experiences of our community's face. For the past year, we have been here talking to y'all at the City Council, LNL, and even coalition meetings, telling the stories of our communities and the stories of ourselves with the demands of actual change with accountability. And with this item and this proposed resolution, I'm urging y'all for a continuance on our conversation as a community and as a coalition, as well as your constituents. Yes, the CAAP will go to the city manager and implement the plan, but how about the people who have been talking to y'all for weeks and months? Our immigrant communities deserve protection that is enforceable, and hope you can choose to work with the community again to develop a stronger and more comprehensive community action plan that actually involves community input.
Next speaker is Ethan.
Hello, my name is Ethan Julian Zamora, and I am a Community Outreach Coordinator with Ignite Filipino. For months, the City Council has heard numerous stories and recommendations from immigrant-serving organizations, advocates, and community members like myself. Yet the proposed action plan falls short of that collective vision and misses a significant opportunity to establish meaningful protections for our city's immigrant community. Protecting our immigrant families, neighbors, and loved ones cannot simply depend on fragmented or half-assed action plans. The city must adopt a comprehensive approach that is clear and enforceable amongst all interagency law enforcement. Any implementation strategy should include structured community oversight and opportunities for public input to ensure that the experiences and recommendations of our community are ultimately reflected in this policy. If Sacramento is serious about its commitment to being a sanctuary city, this action plan will not only be adopted, but strengthened through ongoing discussions with the very people whose livelihoods have and will continue to be impacted as a result of our broken immigration system and law enforcement. Salamat. Thank you.
And Celie will be our final speaker on this item.
Hello, my name is Celine Corpus. I'm a Filipino youth organizer with the Tanggal Migrante movement, or the Defend Migrants movement. We are representing the larger Filipino community. We're in Sacramento. They have a population of over 200,000 Filipinos in the city, and part of our work is protecting the Filipino migrants, especially our undocumented community, facing vicious migrant attacks under the Trump administration, including standing in solidarity with other migrant communities in our city. And we joined together to show support with the Asian American Liberation Network to have a stronger action and protection against ICE presence in our city. And our work is especially driven to support families experiencing fear, anxiety from ongoing attacks from ICE, and provide support to migrants facing family separation while working to make ends meet. And it's not only our work to keep accountable the U.S. government, the home governments of where our many Filipino migrants come from, but we also include the city governments like Sacramento, where we demand the city to continue to strengthen these protections to defend migrants that includes stop colluding with SAC-PD. We urge that the city ensures this community immigration action plan is coordinated with community leaders who are actually on the ground and have developed trust with our vulnerable community members, and we value their stories, their experiences of our community members, that their engagement should especially be included in this action plan. Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes our public comment.
Thank you. Back to you, Councilmember Guerra, who's not here. Councilmember Bang.
Thanks. I just had a few questions. I will be supporting the item today, but definitely do have some questions. Again, like I shared with my colleagues and the community, this is a living document, and we will continue to do everything we can to hold the line and improve, and also provide that direction to the city manager to make sure, as I see her nodding her head, to ensure that we're doing everything we can to hold the line and leverage the resources we have to protect our residents. My questions are really intended for SAC-PD to provide clarity and transparency around the ways in which SAC-PD interacts with immigration enforcement. I don't believe that we all, as I was listening to community members, that we actually have a shared understanding between the city and community what you all have been doing. I know, so before I get to the questions about the PD, I do, sorry, let me just ask legal a quick question around data before I get PD to come up. I had mentioned this in my remarks as well, and I know that in conversations that I've had with community partners, that there is this heightened concern around data sharing. I know I've heard on record that we don't share our data. I know that we had a larger conversation earlier today around 2 p.m. on item 8, but there's a lot of heightened concern around the data sharing, information access as well. And I want to take time just to acknowledge the concerns that the community has. And I know that for our ordinance in particular that prohibits city property, it doesn't include data, right? And I wanted to ask you, what guardrails and data protection policy does the city already have in place to protect its own data?
Evening, Council, Mayor, and City Manager. Yeah, city data is governed by the city's record management policy. It's actually a 142-page document that is publicly available, which sets forth the requirements for how data must be handled and shared. And generally, it's only when it's required by law. As far as contracts, every contract is reviewed by the city attorney's office and has a data provision. Again, these contracts are also public, and the data provision states that any data arising out of the contract is the property of the city. So in fact, it's already stated in our contracts. And also, that provision states that any data arising out of that contract may not be used by any contractor without the written permission from the city. So that is the current, those are the current guardrails.
Amelia, can I just, I'm gonna push you a little bit on that. So even though that is our policy, how do we guarantee on the other side that another agency is not utilizing that data? Obviously, it's not within our control, but I just want to push a little further and say, so that is our policy. We have a policy in place that states that if we partner with you, you can't share our data. How do we ensure that? Like, because they may do what they want to do. So I just wonder, what are the safeguards in place to go after those agencies or to confirm that they're not using that data? Because we're seeing like several breaches like across the country. And so I just want to know, like, we may do our part, but there's the receiving end, right? Like how do we monitor that? Maybe I don't know if you have an answer, but because the thing is we can do our part, but right, there's on the other side. Or does that exist? I mean, as our attorney, have you seen that happen? So.
I do not have any examples of actually data, and I have not come across any actually concrete examples. If we had, we could advise as to how to remedy those. Okay. So that's point number one. As far as other agencies, we really, I mean, it would depend what agency, but we really generally don't have jurisdiction over other agencies. But technically, other agencies also are governed by some of the same laws that we are governed. For example, I'll give you an example. We have a lot of data as far as when an employee, let's just say, goes on medical leave, and that's protected by, for example, HIPAA, right? Well, another agency is also bound by those laws, right? Things like that. We have, to the extent you're talking about law enforcement records, we have things such as like when a minor is involved in an incident and things like that. Those are very protected, and there are a bunch of statutes that govern the protections of police reports and things like that. For example, agencies like the sheriff or CHP are bound by some of those penal code provisions. So we don't have jurisdiction over other agencies, but at the same time, they are bound by the same bodies of law that we are.
And we hope that they are following those same rules. But right. Yeah.
Mayor, point of order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks, Amelia. I only say that, I'm only asking you that because, thank you for sharing that we don't. But I think my concern as a councilwoman is that we don't control other agency, and that is where conversation among mayor and council for us, like what are the best ways that we can protect our data so that that may not happen. And I think that's the concern that the community has. So I just want to acknowledge that, and I appreciate you sharing that. And so my next question is actually for Sac PD. Last week, I did send a series of questions to Sac PD, and I CC the city manager. I'm not going to go through all those questions today, Chief. I'm just going to ask questions particularly around the Moss Building because we've heard a lot from community members about the Moss Building, and I want to just get some clarity on what's been happening because several constituents and community members have reached out to our office. So just wanted to ask about that. What is the city and PD's scope of enforcement currently at John Moss Building? I know that, and I'm going to ask some additional questions, but I know that officers have been active at this location and just want to understand what has the scope been at the John Moss Building with Sac PD?
So as the law enforcement agency serving Sacramento and the capital city of California, we are committed to protecting and facilitating First Amendment activity in our community. Since October 1st, Sac PD has responded to and facilitated dozens,
Deputy Chief.
I want to remind members of the audience, please do not disrupt the orderly conduct of these proceedings by continuing to speak from the audience. You are in violation of Chapter 5A1 of the City Council Rules of Procedure. If you do continue, we will ask the entire room to leave. Thank you.
Just that a note, we've had plenty of patience, I think. We have some speakers up here, and this our city staff, our public speakers who don't get paid here. They're coming here on their own. And we have to be able to respect the process decorum. So any more outbursts, we will eliminate this whole public participation and conduct the meeting with just ourselves. So Deputy Chief, please proceed, and just note that we can't have any more disruptions or else this hearing is over for your participation. Thank you.
So as I was saying, since October 1st of last year, we have responded to and facilitated dozens of First Amendment events in the downtown core. Furthermore, from October 1st through May 31st, we have received nearly 348 calls of service regarding complaints from community members regarding the negative impacts of the protests at the John Moss Building. So what does that look like on the ground? So in terms of if we get a call for service at the John Moss Building, our role there remains limited to maintaining public safety and ensuring order in surrounding public spaces. What that looks like is we will continue to work to ensure clear communication with our community, public safety for residents, businesses, visitors, and demonstrators, protect public safety by the facilitation of keeping the sidewalk and streets open to everyone, and ensure that lawful demonstrations can occur without creating unsafe conditions or blocking transportation routes.
Okay, so can I dive a little bit deeper and ask you? So you just shared a little bit about the 348 calls. So in terms of the scope, because my question is around the scope of PD's enforcement at John Moss, that you're saying that some of these, why SAC PD has been out there is because, I just wrote some stuff down, because a block of sidewalks at the gate, yeah.
Public have continued to engage in conduct that disturbs the orderly proceeding of the meeting and are in violation of Council Rules of Procedure, Chapter 5. Pursuant to Government 957.9, we will take a recess so that the Sergeant at Arms can clear the chambers. Sergeant at Arms, please clear the chambers. Once door established, only let representatives of the press and other news media, other those supporting Mayor and council members, please exit the council chambers. We are now in recess.
Okay.
So Mayor, it's 8:08 p.m. and we are back in session.
All righty. Back to you, Councilmember Guerra. Okay. Vice Mayor Talamantes.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I was number one, but it doesn't have my name. Okay. Can you please tell me about the police department's de-escalation protocols at the ICE building?
Okay. Yeah, so de-escalation is really ingrained in everything that we do. It's really verbal communication skills to try and peacefully resolve the situation. So, typically at the John Moss Building, of those calls for service that I mentioned, and we didn't respond out on every single one of those. A lot of those were noise complaints regarding around the protest activity. But for example, if somebody at the John Moss Building employee calls us and says, hey, I'm not free to leave, I'm trapped here, I need help because there's a protest that's blocking our driveway, blocking our sidewalk, just like any other community member who has their sidewalk being blocked, or a business who says, hey, my employees can't leave because the sidewalk is being blocked or the streets are being blocked, we will go out there, try to de-escalate the situation, try to facilitate the First Amendment activity while still not blocking the transportation routes.
Okay. And then how does the FUSA system work, and do we share data with federal immigration enforcement? And then in addition, the flock system.
I'm sorry, you say FUSIS?
Yeah, FUSA system and the flock system.
So FUSIS is a software program that we have that integrates our cameras, and it allows our officers and our real-time information center to monitor the cameras that we have remotely, like in their patrol cars, for example. We do not share that data. And I'm sorry, what were the other questions?
Okay, so we do not share the data from FUSIS to the federal government.
No, all that is just, it's a software program that correlates all of our cameras and an ability to log into that one software program and see the various surveillance cameras that are around the city.
Okay, and what about the flock system?
The Sacramento Police Department does not employ flock.
Okay. And then how do we go about sharing information with our county? I mean, I know the county has the jail, so their protocols are a little bit different than the city of Sacramento, but what does that information flow look like?
So in terms of what information the sheriff's office shares with ICE on the detainees that they have, I have no idea what their policies are. You know, if we bring somebody in, we drop them off, and the jail takes custody of them. In terms of any communication with ICE, that's on the sheriff's department. I don't have any knowledge of what their procedures are with that.
Okay. And then how does the police department and fire department respond to immigration-related calls or calls for service at federal buildings?
So for those, we would rely on our dispatch protocols, which essentially is that we would, it states that if an emergency falls outside of SPD jurisdiction, the dispatcher shall transfer the call to the responsible agency. So we have no authority in a federal building. So if there was a call for service there, we would refer that to the appropriate federal agency.
Okay, and then fire, Chief Costamagno.
Good evening, Mayor, Council Manager. So, Chris Costamagno, your fire chief. So as Deputy Chief was speaking, when the call is transferred to fire, we go ahead, we respond like we would to any call. We mitigate whatever emergency it is, whether it's a medical emergency or something other, and then we would turn the building back over to the authority having jurisdiction. If we transport a patient that's in federal custody, we bring the equivalent of a federal marshal with us to maintain the patient custody. But in any case, we maintain the integrity of the patient and from the holding facility to the medical treating facility.
So it's similar to what you do at the county jail?
Exactly like what we would experience at the county jail or the federal courthouse.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
And then, since I have you here on the podium, you told me a little bit about the history of the Joint Terrorism Task Force. And I know that we were on a timeline to get this finished before council recess, and then adding this to the platform would have probably extended this, and this is urgent, and we wanted to make sure that we met the timeline before council recess. So can you please tell me about fire and police's involvement with this?
Yeah, so just historically, the JTTF started in the 80s in New York City working with the FBI, NYPD. In the 90s, we saw an uptick in domestic extremism in the country. The JTTFs were formalized. Sacramento started participating in the late 90s. We had experiences here locally where the JTTF was successful in stopping an attack on the propane tanks in Elk Grove. It was 24 million gallons times 2 tanks. The goal was in 1999 to disrupt not only the economy, but the U.S.'s infrastructure if they were successful. And then in the 2000s, we participated here in Sacramento quite a bit. Our hazmat teams with anthrax in the mail. And we continue in the fire department to be the experts. And believe it or not, with the FBI, we provide a lot of local expertise. We have hazmat firefighters that have been doing this for 30 plus years. Some of the FBI hasn't been doing it that long, so we proof each other's work in the field. So all we do is work in the hazardous materials realm with the JTTF, but it does bring us a lot of information locally. that we share here. I think one of the things that happened more recently was the Run to Feed the Hungry. That was coordinated through the Sacramento Police Department and the local JTTF.
Oh, the recent Run to Feed the Hungry because of the
Right.
large amount of people in attendance.
Yes, the
So
threat
we were
within
able to
numbers
use
of
those
people.
funds to be able to protect people participating in Run to Feed
It's
the Hungry.
really the JTTFs are meant to coordinate and analyze information coming in. The fire department participates on that hazardous materials side, so.
Deputy Chief Monk, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would just say that the officer that's assigned to that task force, their goal is to prevent violent terrorist attacks in our city. That Run to Feed the Hungry example is one. I can't talk about it because it's still an ongoing case, but we did need federal support because that suspect lives out of state. There's been other recent ones like that. Officer works on threats to elected officials in our region. There was a shooting at a local news station last year that that individual worked on. We made an arrest a few weeks ago on some bias-related incidents at local churches. So those are the scope of things that position works on. Throughout their, Chris talked about some bigger example of, here I'll be Fed started with the Unabomber and some other things that, but really their goal is to prevent violent terrorist attacks to our city.
Okay, thank you. And then data sharing, City Attorney. Councilmember Vang asked these questions, but I just want to make sure that I have it right. Data sharing, every single contract that we have with a third party has a data provision clause saying how long they have information, or it's like property of the city. Can you please expand on that?
Yeah, it essentially states that, again, any data arising from the contract is the property of the city, number one, and two, that the data cannot be used unless the city gives written authorization, written permission. Now, as far as the data, I mean, different contracts work differently, because some contracts, we have indefinitely, other contracts, are shorter. And then, as far as then our regular data records management provision, which is generally 2 years, then kicks in as far as some of that data. So.
And so to date, do we have any known records of any data that has been shared from any of our third-party vendors?
Not to the city attorney's knowledge. I can't speak for the departments, but not to the city attorney's knowledge.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Garrett.
Thank you, Mayor. First, let me start by saying what I heard earlier today. One of the persons who'd been working on many of these issues from the legal side, and that this is not the first step we've taken. I want to thank previous councils back from 1985. It's not the last step that we will take either, and that is the point of making sure we move forward today. We're taking every action we can, and we need to also do this with an understanding that we have to be thoughtful about the challenges that we will face. The fact that the federal courts rejected the Trump administration in this recent June 22nd, 23rd court decision was because there was a lot of thought taken in the next step to making sure we stand strong ground. And that's what's gone into this. Enough input from our community, input from our legal partners, from practicality on how we can execute this, so that if and when this gets challenged, we survive that scrutiny, just like our ordinance in 2017 has survived scrutiny that have helped us secure and maintain also federal grants and dollars, and also respond to the erroneous concerns or erroneous allegations by the administration that there's preemption involved here. Okay, this is about our city taxpayers' dollars focused so that our local fire department and our police department, our parks, our city resources are spent on municipal needs to support our city residents. Bottom line, this is a community action plan that helps us and maintains that focus, that our municipal resources are to help our residents in the city, people who live in the city of Sacramento. And it honors that through saying that we understand we have immigrants and refugees. And I also want to say that I thank the fire department, police department, our code officers who've done a lot of work in my community, in my council district, with the immigrant refugee community. The number of events that we go to, the Buddhist temples, the churches, the community efforts, and the effort that's been done to be present and available, that in itself is commended every day. This is another step forward to making sure that we recognize that all of us are in this together moving forward. So I want to thank all the good work that's been done. Thank you to the city manager. Again, it's not the first step and it's not going to be the last step, but we must take that next step forward to making sure that we're doing everything we can for every Sacramento resident.
Councilmember Vang.
Thanks, Mayor. I was asking questions, just wanted to finish some of my questions, and then I will be supporting both of the items, but just wanted to just reaffirm with PD what I heard earlier today when Vice Mayor Talamantes was asking him a question, is that in terms of the scope of work, the scope of enforcement for the John Moss building, because my question was around the John Moss building, is that PD scope of work has been, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that is to protect sidewalks around the federal building, is that correct?
It's to ensure access, yes, sidewalks, roadways, transportation routes that employees, like we've had calls there from employees to say, I'm not free to leave because the roadway's being blocked, I need help. So our role there is to go out there and try to facilitate the First Amendment activity while we're still maintaining the transportation routes and people are not being held against their will in the parking lots.
Okay, what about the noise tickets?
So we have gone out there. We've had a number of calls regarding noise, but typically before we'll dispatch that, we require that somebody is willing to sign a citizen's arrest. So we have had a few of those, but by and large, we haven't responded to a lot of those calls.
Okay, so what I'm just hearing from PD, and I just want to share this with my colleagues, is that within the city of Sacramento, our role, PD's role, is to ensure that folks can basically still access the sidewalks. That what I'm hearing also, I want to confirm on record that this also includes ensuring that federal employees are able to move in and out of the building. Is that what we're doing?
So if any community member was to call and say, yeah, my driveway's being blocked, or a business call and says, my employees can't leave because the sidewalk's being blocked, the roadway's being blocked, that is on us to facilitate that flow of traffic. So we would go out there, try and de-escalate the situation, try to allow the First Amendment activity to occur, but also to allow the vehicle to pass through so people could leave the building.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you so much for sharing that. I think we definitely heard from community today. There's a lot of high tension between, I think, the advocates and PD, especially around the Moss building. And I just want to share, just my opinion, while I'll be supporting both items, and I know that's a living document. I understand that, according to our city code, residents can't block the right of way, right? But I just want to state on record that we do have a fascist government that doesn't care about due process. I think we're all in agreement on that, right? We have an agency that is killing U.S. citizens, separating immigrant refugees and families. And I just want to acknowledge that advocates are out there. And I want to acknowledge that they are protesting ICE, right? And yes, that does include disruption of an agency, right? And that may include them blocking the gate. And I just want to name that. What I'm hearing from PD and our city is that the city has a role of ensuring that people can come in and out, that there's the public right of way that's protected. And that is in conflict with what the advocates are doing, because what they've been doing is protesting and disrupting an agency that is causing harm. And I just want to be able to name that. I think for me, as a councilwoman, I do believe that we have far better injustices to confront than just policing people who are maybe standing in the wrong place or blocking streets. And my colleagues may not agree with me, and that's okay. This is something that I think it's important for me just to share. And I do believe that our priorities are deeply misplaced if we are using public resources to cite people for jaywalking, for noise, for blocking a gate, even if that is in conflict with city code. And I just want to state that for the record because I think it's not just about public safety, but it's also a distraction from the real issues and the systemic harm that's happening in this country. And I think that's really important just to name because history will judge us by the injustice that we tolerate and not by how aggressively we are actually enforcing our public right-of-way city codes for federal ICE agents. So I just want to name that because I hear the frustration from the advocates and the community members, but I also understand, speaking to the city manager, that we have a role and responsibility to protect the right-of-way, but there is that conflict, right? There is that conflict and want to be able to name that. And I do think that moving forward, city manager, I think figuring out how we can mitigate that tension is going to be really critical, right? I think we're going to do everything we can to continue building trust, ensure that the First Amendment rights are still protected, trying to have that balance, but I also know that it's in conflict. It's in conflict with what the advocates are doing, and I also understand why they're doing it because we're living under a fascist government and they're protesting and disrupting an agency that's causing harm. But we are here today because we also know that local municipality is the front line to hold the line and to protect our immigrants and refugees. And yes, this is a living document. I am proud of the work that we've done so far, Vice Mayor Talamantes, Mayor Pro Tem, and I, to get to this moment, but I also know it's not the final product. This is just direction to the city manager to begin that implementation work. And something that I would like to add as we implement this, I know this is an item that we're gonna vote on, both the ordinance and the city community action plan, is that I'd like to request that the city manager and her team meets on a regular basis with the care holders, right, on updating and implementation. And I think that's my request because we can't just, vote yes and then there's not that loop around with community. That's really critical for me to make sure that as we're implementing, we're staying in constant communication with community members with the plan. And so that's my direction. If there's a motion, I don't know if both my colleagues have anything else to add, but if we are to move this item, I would like to request that the city manager and our team does meet on a regular basis, and we can talk about what that means, what that looks like with care holders on updating and implementing the community action plan. Thank you.
I'm happy to move this item number 2, the resolution. And with that being said, though, if city staff meets with the care holders, there needs to be a level of respect for a city staff that is working with people to be able to update this immigration platform, and that's just very important for me.
I'll second that motion, and whichever.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Vice Mayor. I think that you as leaders can go and meet with the community and stakeholders or care holders, but directing city staff to do it after, we have a lot of work to do. And I don't know if it's always going to be fruitful and who's going to be there. I think you could host your own meetings and you could invite appropriate city staff to join them, but directing them to go and have regular briefings with the community. Where do you start? Where do you stop? There's a lot of issues that we want to be briefing our community on, so I would not think that's a good approach. I think that I'm in full support of this package tonight, but I want to let you continue first. Okay, yeah, I guess the first thing is look, I talked to mayors from across the country. This is a very hot time on this topic, and you're going to make people unhappy on both sides. I had horrific messages today from people telling me that I'm coddling immigrants and breaking the law too much, and we saw people very upset that we're not going strong enough. But I think our council here, Mr. Ayala, said it well, is that not the city council, but a local lawyer in town, Joe Ayala, talked about we want to keep pushing the envelope, but we have the rule of law and parameters that we have to work with. And, we can't politic in here and we can't campaign here, but those are what the next elections are for, and focusing on policy at the federal level. Those are out of our control. And I do think that American people have seen enough, and they don't like these policies. And there's a reason that you haven't, we do see ICE activity across the country still, but there's a reason that the massive surge has died down in cities across the country. So I think the American people have stepped up and said, this is too much, and I'm glad the city of Sacramento is pushing as far to that line as we can. And I will say that council members Talamontes, Guerra, and Vang pushed our city staff, our city manager, and our city attorney right to the line, right to the edge. And so we pushed as far as we could go. I know that's not far enough for certain individuals, but as you said, Councilmember Guerra, you know, the council of Joe Cerna, your mentor, your idol over the years, and former Mayor Ann Rudin stepped up in the mid-'80s and says we're going to support refugees in this era, and became one of the first sanctuary cities in America. And you know, here we are 42 years later, stepping up again, and we're not over, and I support this effort tonight, and you know, proud of the City Council for moving forward. So we do have a motion in a second.
Mayor, I just have one more comment before we vote on this item. I do want to just emphasize that in the cap, it does say that the city, maybe not the city manager, but it does say the city needs to continue to meet with just the community to implement the plan. So I just want to state that on record as well.
Okay.
So that community involvement is critical, and I know that our city manager has lots on her plate. But that's why she has a team as well, and she has the 3 offices as well to lean on as well. I think you're right. It's not just on the city manager, but it's also on the 3 offices to make sure that we keep that line of communication open. I think that's absolutely critical because they're on the front line serving our immigrants and refugee communities. And for us to say, no, we're not going to meet with the community because we don't have the capacity, I don't think that's fair. And I think that if we are to be true to the implementation plan, it is called a community action plan, that we make sure that we continue to keep the community involved because it is a living document. And so, you know, we had more than 20 people who commented tonight, and I know that there are other organizations that came to our 3 meetings that actually didn't come tonight, that genuinely worked with us, asked questions, and we heard from like Marbella as well, right? There are advocates that have invested in this, and I want to make sure that we honor that and we continue to keep them involved. So I just wanted to state that. Thank you.
Yeah, and I do want to say that we'll continue to make ourselves available. As city manager, I have to balance both sides. So when I'm bringing this council something, it's going to be something that balances both sides, which means I'm going to have 50% of the people who are happy and 50% of the people that are not happy. But I would ask this council to kind of give us just the respect to kind of determine what that communication cycle looks like, that cadence look like. I want to thank Emilio and Consuelo and Amy and the team and the police department, Deputy Chief, for, you know, participating. We care. You know, we don't like what we see going on across the country either. People are hurting, people are scared. So we want to make certain that we're bringing you something that strikes a balance for everybody that's involved.
Thank you. We do have a motion and a second, right, City Clerk?
You have a motion by Vice Mayor Talamontes and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Okay. Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any noes or abstentions? Hearing none.
So item 2 passes unanimously.
I'd like to make a motion for item 3.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on item 3.
That motion was by Vice Mayor Talamontes and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Noes or abstentions? Hearing none, item passes 9-0.
Thank you, Mayor. We now move to council comments, ideas, questions, and AB 123 reports.
Okay.
Seeing none, do we have city manager's report? We have no public comment for matters not on the agenda. Mayor, you've concluded the business of the council. July 21st.
Okay, thank you. We will adjourn and we will reconvene on July 21st.